Hi, and welcome to Eating Disorders Awareness Week 2015. Maybe you didn't know it, but every year we celebrate Eating Disorders Awareness Week to create awareness to the public, to clinicians, and to people suffering about what eating disorders are all about, how we can better prevent them, and how we can better treat them. So I appreciate you listening to this video blog and hope that you will pass this information around. So I'm really excited about some of the things that I have in store on my website about Eating Disorders Awareness Week. I'm going to share with you some information in this video, and then the rest of the week I have a host of guest bloggers. I'm going to be sharing blog posts with you written by several colleagues who are going to share with you what they have learned personally about working in the field of eating disorders. I have a couple colleagues writing about a couple key components about the process of recovering from eating disorders. And I have two clients who have shared a bit about their own stories and what they want people to know about the process of recovering from an eating disorder. And I think that you'll really enjoy all that I have to share with you this coming week. The theme of Eating Disorders Awareness Week 2015 is I had no idea. And it's a really interesting, but I think a really appropriate theme. First of all, it's very, very common for people who develop an eating disorder to start out engaging in behaviors and habits that felt very innocent, and they had no idea that it was going to steamroll into a full-blown eating disorder. And there are a lot of things that many of us don't know about eating disorders, even those of us who are clinicians, not to mention the general public. There is so much misinformation about eating disorders. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, things that you probably had no idea about as it relates to eating disorders, a lot of statistics and research. And I hope you'll find it fascinating because I certainly find it incredibly important. So here we go. I'm going to share with you 10 things that you may have had no idea about eating disorders. First, according to the National Institutes of Health, eating disorders are extremely underfunded. And to give you a perspective on this underfunding, eating disorders are 6 times more prevalent than Alzheimer's disease. And yet, for every 93 cents that is spent on eating disorders research, $88 is spent on Alzheimer's research. So while it is 6 times more prevalent, we receive not even 1/88th of the amount of funding. Now, I'm not advocating for decreasing funding for Alzheimer's disease. I'm advocating for increasing funding and awareness for eating disorders research. Number 2, alcohol and substance abuse disorders are 4 times more common in the eating disorder population. Number 3, the rate of development of new cases of eating disorders has been increasing steadily and consistently since 1950. We talk about an obesity epidemic. We have an eating disorders epidemic. The incidence of bulimia in women ages 10 to 39 has tripled between 1988 and 1993. In 5 years, the incidence tripled. That is scary. There has been a rise in the incidence of anorexia in young women between the ages of 15 and 19 in each decade since 1930. It has consistently, over the past 84 years, increased. Anorexia, that is scary. Another interesting way to think about the prevalence of eating disorders. The prevalence of type 2 diabetes accounts for about 9% of the US adult population. Now, when we combine anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder, without even including the subclinical eating disorders, that accounts for 7% of the US population. Now, we think about how much funding and attention there is around diabetes. 9% is a significant portion of the population. 7% of the population has an eating disorder. That is scary. And yet we receive just abysmal attention, abysmal resources and research. Number 7, eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any psychiatric illness. Number 8, these are not teenager diseases. In one study, recent study, 13% of women who were questioned over the age of 50 reported eating disorder symptoms within the past 5 years. 70% report symptoms resulting from attempts to lose weight. Dieting is the gateway into the development of an eating disorder. It is one of the biggest risk factors in the development of an eating disorder. Excuse me. Number 9, 10 million males will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lifetime. Number 10, it's not just a white girl's illness. We see the prevalence of eating disorders is similar among non-Hispanic whites, African Americans, and Asians in the United States. I have seen it consistently written and said that eating disorders are rare. They are not. Eating disorders are common. They are all around us. We need to build awareness. We need to build better avenues of support. We need more funding for research. I hope you will pass this message along and share it with those around you. I also hope that you will read the real, the honest, as well as the very hopeful messages of recovery in the blogs in this coming week. And if you'd like more information about eating disorders treatment, what they're all about, I highly recommend you visit the National Eating Disorders Association website, which is, let me just double check the URL, nationaleatingdisorders.org. Another awesome resource for people who live in the Boston area, who live in the state of Massachusetts, is the Multi-Service Eating Disorder Association. The URL is www.meda.org. And it's a phenomenal resource for people who are struggling with an eating disorder. They have low-cost support groups, treatment, the ability to set you up with a treatment team, outpatient treatment team. They do low-cost assessments, groups, and it's a phenomenal place for clients and clinicians alike who want more support around eating disorders. So thank you again for being here with me. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will pass this message along to the other people in your life, family and friends who are important to you. Thank you, and know that there is hope from recovering from an eating disorder.